What percentage of the day do you have sexual thoughts? It's just like if a girl passes and you're like, oh, she's hot.
100%.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course.
But, like, even if I'm in, like, staring at a blank wall, it's 100% of the time.
Okay.
Yeah, I think people think about it in their private lives, if you know what I mean.
Oh, Michael.
Like, I think people think about it when they're touching themselves.
Oh, Michael!
I am.
Okay. What is the main reason you get into a relationship with someone?
Physical contact.
Okay, I think we have a good balance of like emotional connection as well as a physical connection. What do you think?
Oh, I think it's like Space Jam, get slam dunks all the time. Boom! Boom!
This is how the majority of those on social media believe boys act and think about sex and relationships. A lot of these negative ideas are coming from teen girls tweeting about how teen guys are nothing but trouble. Even when typing "teenage boys are good" into the search bar, all the tweets came up negative with things like "teenage boys are good for nothing." Tara Parker Pope wrote for the New York Times saying, "The widespread skepticism about teenage boys is worrisome, some psychologists say, because it may mean that boys ultimately will fulfill our low expectations of them. The stereotype about boys is that all they want is sex, all the time. We are going to break that stereotype."
Today's my lucky day. I gotta show you mere mortals how to play this game.
Totally. Yeah, well, feeling hot and being hot are two totally different things.
Yeah, and the only time you get hot is when you're hitting on Jennifer.
Man, she'd make me hot. She'd heat up anybody. She'd make you feel sexy, that old boy.
None of your business. Yeah, and you're taking care of business real well, right, Matt?
Ah, give it a rest. He probably hasn't gone any farther with Jennifer than you have with Liz.
Lindsay.
Lindsay, Liz, what's the difference?
I'll tell you who's getting it. Tim. He's so smooth and all the chicks dig it.
Yeah? Hey, where's Tim? And Mike, he isn't here either.
Tim's late because he's probably banging Susan. That guy's zipper's faster than the speed limit. What I wouldn't give to be in his shoes.
Man, I was watching him at the movies with some girl. It wasn't Susan, and...
Did you ever actually watch the movie, Tommy? Or do you just spy on the rest of us?
He was giving her a sip of Pepsi with one hand and working his way up her skirt with the other. My girlfriend would never let me get away with that.
Yeah, well, he gets away with it. He got away with it with Cassie and Mary Beth and who's
Carrie.
Carrie, that's it.
No, dude, he didn't get any with Carrie.
I know.
Just because you couldn't doesn't mean Tim didn't. Let's get out, guys.
Better get ready.
Let's go.
Let's get to practice.
What sport do we play?
Do you think that all or most teenage guys are in relationships with a physical aspect rather than the emotional?
I think most are. I know a couple people who aren't, but I mean, for the most part, most of the guys I've come in contact with have been.
And do you think teenage boys objectify girls?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you think that all teenage guys are in it for the physical aspect rather than the emotional?
I mean, not all guys, but there's definitely a high majority of them.
So you'd say that more often than not they are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think that all teenage guys get into relationships for the physical aspect of them?
Not all, but a lot do.
You think
So,
a majority?
Yeah, definitely a majority.
What do you think boys want in a girl?
I think they want the person to be really pretty and be skinny and like exceptions.
I think guys like think of girls more for their body and girls like think of guys more for their brain.
Do you think that all teenage boys are in relationships for the physical aspect rather than the emotional?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like what high school's about.
So, do you think that teenage boys objectify girls?
Yes. I used to, just be friends with guys, and that's all they'd talk about, like, oh, she has a nice butt, she has nice boobs, but, like, I I just think that that's kind of rude, but yeah, it's true. I mean, they do over-objectify it.
I don't think this community raises boys to be highly respectful of women or highly respectful of others.
In the period of a day, like what percentage, when you're awake, what percentage of that day do you think that you are thinking like about physical things, like in like physical, like with boys kind of thing, or just like regular thoughts, you know, just going about your day?
Do you mean like sexually? Like how much do I?
Sexually, yeah.
Okay.
I know you don't have to answer if you don't want to.
How much do I think about sex in a day?
Basically.
Not super often, but not extremely rare. 10%.
15 to like 35% of my thoughts are about sex.
Maybe like 90% of the time I'm not thinking about that, but like 10% of the time maybe I am.
Less than 5%, probably.
Probably 50. 50, yeah. 35.
40-ish. 40.
It's 100%.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course.
Like, I don't think as much as guys. I feel like, I don't mean,
But I'm quite frankly surprised that there's teenagers who are saying, I just want to be in love.
Really?
Yes.
See, it's fascinating to me because when I think about teenagers, I think of them as being like, you know, big-eyed and all about like love and romance. But you're saying no, it's really all about hormones and figuring out what the sex thing's all about.
I'm just saying, I'm surprised by the findings because I don't remember it being that way.
Do you guys watch porn online?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. What do we think about girls?
I don't really think girls watch porn, but I think they do
like pleasure themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We probably have a whole lot bigger sex drive than they do.
Girls feel like they do something wrong if they have sex, but guys feel like it's a huge stepping stone.
What do you appreciate in a guy?
Someone who listens and someone who isn't afraid to say what they think. Someone who makes time for me and supports whatever I say and do and understands.
I think that someone who's supportive and honest is really important, and obviously faithful and just all around nice person.
To you, what is the definition of a good relationship?
Just like good communication, like being friends with the other person. I guess it's just like a friend that you just like a little bit more than the rest of your friends.
Mm-hmm. Dating is a learning process, and it's trial and error. That's why some people live together and when things don't work out, they realize we're not compatible. But in high school, yeah, it's okay to learn how humans interact outside of your cell phone.
So do you think that girls, teenage, have the same physical objective that boys do?
I think it depends on the girl first, but I think it matters, but I don't think it matters as like soon in the relationship. Like I don't think it's really the first thing that girls think about. Like I think for a lot of girls the first thing is like, oh, like is he gonna care about me? Is he gonna like think about me and stuff like that? Not just like the first thing immediately is like the sexual stuff.
Do you think that girls have the same physical objectives?
No. I think some are. I know, like, it's kind of the opposite. I know a couple girls who are in it and kind of pressure the guys, but I think a lot of girls are in it for the emotional aspect and, you know, like watching The Notebook with their boyfriend and stuff like that.
Do you think that girls have the same physical objectives that guys do?
I think in general, I used to think no, but now I'm sort of thinking yeah. I don't know. It's just girls are confusing sometimes. So like, it's hard to say. I don't know. I think that girls are more like off and on. Like they either have the same objectives as guys, and this is if we're assuming that guys are like really sexually forward. I feel like there's times when girls are and when they're not, and I feel like guys are usually sort of like sustained. Like I would like to, but I don't know. Like if if it's not gonna happen, like I'm not gonna be like mad about it or anything like that. You know what I mean?
So this is what one sexually inexperienced 15-year-old in the study had to say. He says, "I want to have that experience of sex, but I want it to mean something. I want it to be something we both want to do, not because we just want the experience of doing it. I want to look back on that and see like I really care for her, and not look back on her like, oh, I had sex with her."
So when you're awake, what percentage of the time do you spend your time thinking about sexual things or physical things versus just going about your day?
It's definitely more about like, cause like you're really like getting to know someone, so you're not just thinking about like, oh, like who's that girl on the other side of the room? She looks nice or something. But it's more now like, oh, like, you know, like I wonder how Julia's feeling today, or I wonder what we're gonna do later, something like that. Or at least I try to. I still forget things sometimes.
Do you think that all teenage guys get into relationships for the physical aspect of the relationship?
No, I'd say Liam is actually much more romantic than I am.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, there's definitely guys who do, but not me, no.
We went on a couple dances and things like that, and then we just decided to be boyfriend and girlfriend. It wasn't really for like the physical aspect of a relationship or anything like that, but it was just sort of like the whole companionship aspect of being in a relationship that we were both sort of drawn to and that we wanted out of each other. So that's why we sort of decided to start dating.
What's the main reason that you specifically would get into a relationship with someone?
I wouldn't say the main is like a physical relationship, like that's like an aspect of it like later along, but if like you care about somebody and you want to like spend time with them and you enjoy like doing stuff with them, and you know, you share common interests.
So how much do you think physical contact matters in a good relationship?
Not that much. I feel like the emotional
He's a
aspect
person.
is more important than the physical.
I try to speak personally, I try to make a point of kissing my wife in front of my kids and making sure that they know that it's okay to hold hands and be in love, because I think kids need to see that growing up.
So what do you most appreciate in a girl?
What do you notice first?
Girls' eyes.
Child, crawling on your knees toward him, make mom so proud, but your voice is too loud. We like to watch you laughing, picking insects off plants, when time to think of consequences. Control yourself, take only what you need from it. The family of trees wanted to be haunted. The water is warm, but its enemy shivers. A baby is born, crying out for attention. Memories fade like looking through a fogged mirror. Decisions to decisions I made.